Phil, I know some members think it's easier for them to actually trial a staff member. So say, bring them as a contractor before they offer them permanent employment. Any experience there?
I think it's a very good point, Peter, and it's very contemporary. The imposts of employment now, on a small firm especially, are quite manifest. So yes, I've taken on people as contractors on a trial basis. I've offered them 6-month trials or 3-month trials. Almost always they've either worked out or left voluntarily. I've almost never had to push someone out the door, which is good. But no, I think as I said before, baby steps are good, and a contract or trial basis is a very valid means of taking those steps without locking yourself into a relationship you might not both appreciate.
Greg, your observation, because I know it's been quite controversial over time where people thought they could actually sidestep their legal obligations by actually calling someone a contractor.
Yeah, look, it's a really good point and a really important point as well. Of course, if you want to bring someone on to test them out, there's ways to do that. So you can bring someone on a casual basis, or you can have someone on a probationary period. Those types of things don't affect their entitlements. If you are engaging someone as a contractor, you just need to be really sure that you're engaging them in a genuine contracting relationship. So, a contractor, they're actually running their own business, and there's a set of indicia which can determine if someone's a contractor or an employee. Yeah, and it covers things like the level of control they have over the business, their ability to delegate, and a lot of other things. So, my main advice would be, if you're not sure, then ask. Come to the Fair Work Ombudsman, ask your workplace advisor, but just make sure that you do get that first decision right, because it could cost you down the road. There are, if you do misclassify someone inadvertently as a contractor rather than an employee, there may be entitlements that they're owed, and there's also penalties for sham arrangements as well.
One of the challenges that graduates often have is to actually get work experience. Have you ever participated in formalised any work experience program within your practices, or offered any internship type of model?
We've done both. We've done the internship and also we've had some work experience students come through, and I love that because I've actually, it gives us a good opportunity to both give them some skills and to assess potentially their suitability to come on as a graduate in the practice. We have one graduate at the moment that's completing his university studies, and he's been working with us for 12 months, started on a 2-week work experience. He was so great and the team loved him, so we offered him a role. He's worked part-time throughout the last 12 months of his university, and when he finishes he'll have a full-time role with us. So that's really story, Tanya. That's great, and really I love that because it serves both purposes. I have another student at the moment that did work experience with us about 2 years ago, and I've just reached out to him and said, I think there's another role coming up. He's only partway through his university, but he's going to be taking on some hours in between subjects so that, as much as he can do. But again, if he has that experience with us, then we can give him a full-time role when he finishes. So it's a great way for students to actually get their foot in the door, I think, with practices.
I think that's very well said, Tanya. It reminds us we're human beings. And our little firm has been going, as I say, 28 years, from between 1.5 people to 18 people. And we've had as many as 45 of these interns, graduates, work experience people. And if the phone rings or a friend from cricket says, by the way, young so-and-so is graduating soon, could you help out with some? I say yes, the answer is yes, because it's a systemic investment, but it also pays dividends. I've had work experience kids who've been with me for 5 years. I can think of one who's a KPMG manager now in New York, and you're part of their careers, Peter. It's a challenging, but it's a great opportunity too. And occasionally you'll pick up someone who can really help you.
Absolutely, and look, it is a fantastic opportunity for students to get on-the-job learning. One comment would be, workplace integrated learning is great for them, but just to be careful for any practitioners out there to ensure that vocational placement doesn't inadvertently turn into an employment relationship. So, if the person starts to become less of a learning experience, and it becomes more of a, work that otherwise a paid employee would do, there starts to be issues of, is that person actually an employee?
You mean when they're getting work?
If you're not paying them.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, if you're not paying them, that is.
Okay.
And a determination of that would, I would think, potentially be the amount of time that, I think that you're getting to the point of you're taking advantage of someone instead of actually giving them that experience of understanding
That's
how a
unacceptable.
workplace.
And look, there's also another option, which is under the Fair Work Act, which is the governing workplace laws. There's a vocational placement exemption. So if you're receiving a student from a university or something along those lines, where they're actually doing this as part of their course, and they're earning them credit, they're actually not considered an employee. So you can do that, and it can be an unpaid lawful arrangement.
Right.
I'm conscious that in the marketplace there's actually people advertising for paid internships where the candidate is expected to pay the employer for the work experience. What's Fair Work Australia's position on that?
Look, if someone's being asked to pay for an internship, that's certainly going to cause some alarm bells for us. Unpaid internships is an issue, particularly if they are doing that kind of productive work that would otherwise be done by a paid employee. That's territory where we'd start to have to consider, is this person actually an employee, not an intern? And practitioners could be looking at back payments, being liable for back payments if that was the case.
So what resources does the Fair Work Ombudsman actually have on the website to actually assist a practitioner to make a judgment on what the right model is?
Great question. We've actually got a couple of fact sheets on there on this specific issue. So there's a fact sheet on there about internship arrangements, about vocational placements, and it'll step you through some of those questions that you need to ask yourself in terms of when you're developing the arrangement. So it'll help you really clarify, am I getting someone on in a vocational placement arrangement that can be unpaid, or is this actually looking like this might be an employment arrangement? And then, what do I have to do in terms of, paying them the minimum rates under the relevant award?
So if in doubt,
jump onto
obviously,
fairwork.gov.au or give us a call 131394.